Hello, everyone. Diana Rankin here with your monthly predictions from Phillip, my spirit guide, for September 2022. So here we go. I like to usually save a little time up front for people who would like to come on live, but I apologize. I had very little notice myself that I was going to do this, and I looked at the time and I said, just go do it because last week I think I did it the 1st of August or something like that, the last day. I'm going to try to do these at least 3 or 4 days in advance, these monthly predictions. The weekly videos where we answer your questions on Fridays at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, that's a lot easier for me to answer your questions. This is a little bit more difficult, just uncomfortable. That's all. So it's kind of like I put it off and put it off. So, anyway, we will get the predictions for September. I will say there's a little explosive news here, so stay tuned. We will also get a message from one of my books from my spirit guide, Phillip. It's the Master's Book of Answers, and each page is just a wisdom. So we just open to any page and we'll get your message. Hello, my beautiful friend from down under. She says, "Hi, sweet Diana and Phillip. Thanks so much for your service and support to us." Thank you, my beautiful sister. I do want to say there are some things that some people will not want to hear this month, but I do ask that you please, in your comments, and your comments are always welcome. I just ask you to be respectful. And if you don't like what I have to say, that's okay. You're allowed. But just however you word your comments to me or to anyone, please be respectful. That's all I ask. Hello, Judith. She says, "Good afternoon, Diana. So good to see you. Thank you for being here, both of you. It's always good to have the support of a live audience. That is much, I was telling a friend recently, and I've said this before, it is easier for me to stand in front of a group of hundreds or a few thousand or 12 people than it is to do the videos because I don't have that energy coming back. And so we're going to get going here with our predictions. And Judith sends me hearts, and thank you. I so appreciate that. When I do private predictions or private readings for people, that's a very different thing than this public. And so it's about reading the energy of the individual. So if you have questions that are private, please give me a call or email me, and we'll get you set up for an appointment. If you have questions of a universal nature, please put them in the comments below. And then tune in on Fridays at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, because that's when we answer those questions. And go back and look at some of the old videos. In fact, Phillip makes reference to a couple of months ago in this one, but he explains what he's talking about. So let's get going, shall we? All right. I look over here because this is the big screen when I see somebody join us. And so it's just much easier for me to read from this side than it is the little screen straight ahead. So that's what I'm doing, looking over here. Okay, here we go. Phillip's predictions for September 2022. Expect major eruptions in Earth's energy. This will be felt politically, especially in the US and Russia. I don't know what that means. I'm saying I don't know what that means. We'll find out. Phillip is not saying he doesn't know what that means. That was me. Okay. Also expect fires, floods, hurricanes, and other weather of this nature to continue and erupt more violently. Don't want to hear that stuff. Well, we need to, I guess. In the desert around Saudi Arabia, a severe dust storm will cause harm to human life. There is a possibility, but only a possibility, of a dangerous wave to sweep across the Pacific Ocean and onto land in Asia and along the coast of New Zealand and Australia. If told to go inland, do so. The energy isn't set in absolutes. The energy can change. And so when Phillip says there is a possibility, but only a possibility, that means those of you in Asia and New Zealand and Australia and in that whole Pacific line, that means pay attention to your local weather. And if you're told there's a tsunami coming, go inland if you're at the coast. Don't go swimming that day or go to the beach that day. But it may not happen. Hopefully, it can be avoided. And I think it also, a lot of that depends upon the energy around it and the energy that's happening in my country, the US. Doesn't look so, looks interesting. Okay, Phillip goes on to say, waters along the eastern shore, and especially from the Carolinas to Florida, will experience an increase of sharks close to shore. This is also true in Southern California. I don't think that is all that unusual this time of year. But when Phillip is saying there's an increase, that means it might be a good idea to stay out of the water or be very, very careful if you're in it. California, along with other U.S. states in the West and Midwest, will continue to experience spreading wildfires. When he says the Midwest, I automatically think of Colorado, even up as far as like even into Wyoming, which I'm not sure what the Midwest is, other than that's what I think of. But I also think of Arizona, Nevada, along there. And I also felt something around the coast, like New Orleans area, the Gulf Coast, and certainly the Gulf Coast in Florida. Okay, Phillip goes on to say, this month we'll see indictments brought against major U.S. political figures. This includes the former man who was considered the U.S. president. He is no longer Teflon. He is merely Trump. I'm going to repeat that one. Wow. This month, we'll see indictments brought against major U.S. political figures. This includes the former man who was considered the U.S. president. He is no longer Teflon. He is merely Trump. Interesting how that was worded. He will not serve long in prison because of his physical and mental conditions. How many around him, including family members and other government officials, will serve longer prison terms. The paperwork is being prepared as we speak. However, the question is when will it be served? At this time, it seems to be quite soon. A few months ago, we explained that we had created a hole in the energy for those who wish to live a more loving spiritual life, could do so easily after passing through the hole. This was not to say they entered spirit world, but to say that they would understand all that is taking place and about to take place on earth. They would be given what they need to grasp circumstances from a deeper perspective. Last month, we warned the energy to pass through this portal was waning. The portal has closed for now. This is not to say you cannot begin or accelerate your spiritual journey. It is to say the instant knowing or full understanding may take longer and more work to grasp. Russia will not defeat Ukraine. They will, however, create more damage and death this month. There is more to be learned of Trump's legal entanglements. This will cause more deaths. He fears for his life. The countries he gave U.S. information to are leery of his mental condition. The countries he gave U.S. information to are leery of his mental condition, will cause him to mention them. Yes, we say them. Wow. I wasn't expecting that one. Citizens of the U.S. are about to be surprised at what they will learn this month. World leaders will be involved. When I wrote that in hearing Phillip, I felt with that world leaders, with what he just said, would be in. That's not here what he's talking about. There he was talking about world leaders that Trump needs to kind of be afraid of, it sounded like. But I also felt like there will be world leaders who will be involved in not necessarily helping to indict, but giving information that would be helpful for U.S. to know about. Okay, let's go on. Again, I don't like this. Expect gunfire in the streets in the U.S., but not a civil war, although some will cry that. Another January 6th type of outcry will be tempted, but fail. Thank God. This is a month of eruptions when it will be more difficult to go inward. However, meditation, self-reflection, and awareness will be of utmost importance this month. It is imperative that those who can bring peace to the world this month. This begins with inner peace. When gathering in groups, be aware of your surroundings. When gathering in groups, be aware of your surroundings. Let your intuition guide you. As we just mentioned, there will be gunfire in U.S. streets. At least one, possibly two new strains of COVID will be announced. This will increase deaths worldwide. You know, here in the U.S., so many are pretending it's over, and it's not. But hopefully the new vaccines coming out will be protective. But still, my friends, be careful, please. Okay, Phillip goes on to say, it is a month where inward journeys will be more difficult for many, but will be of utmost importance. The turmoil of the world must be left behind to begin and to end the day. This is true for both the peacemakers and the warriors. Both will be called on this month. Both must find those ways to care for the spirit, mind, and body. This will be either a most difficult month or a most rewarding month, depending on your perspective. Certainly, it will be a month to remember and ponder. I'm going to read that last paragraph. Well, I'm going to read the last two paragraphs because I think that's important. It is a month where inward journeys will be more difficult for many, but will be of utmost importance. The turmoil of the world must be left behind to begin and to end the day. This is true for both the peacemakers and the warriors. Both will be called on this month. Both must find those ways to care for the spirit, mind, and body. This will be either a most difficult month or a most rewarding month, depending on your perspective. Certainly, it will be a month to remember and ponder. Okay, there are our predictions. Charlie says, hello, how are you? Well, Charlie, right now we're kind of not sure. And hello, Juliet. She says, wow, I'm joining late, but in time for quite a bombshell. Yes, bombshell is exactly the word that I felt. Whoops, upside down. Let's get a message, shall we, from Phillip, the Master's Book of Answers by Phillip. And we just open to any page. There we go. Just kind of flip through. If you heard right, that's what I'm hearing. So our intuition's in sync, and that's the message for everyone. If you heard left, that's a message you need to pay attention to, because that's a message you need to hear. So on the right, it says, do not be so busy seeking life that you forget to be life. Do not be so busy seeking life that you forget to be life. That goes back to what Phillip was telling us. Find that peace in the morning when you first get up, and that peace before you go to sleep at night. Find that self-awareness, that beautiful piece of meditation and inner journeys. If you heard left, this is a message you need to pay attention to. Tomorrow is merely an extension of today. Is it not then wise to guard that which your thoughts create today? Tomorrow is merely an extension of today. Is it not then wise to guard that which your thoughts create today? And Judith says, we are going to be fine. It just won't be easy. Judith, I agree. We're all going to be fine. You know, as I said earlier, the energy can change, and who knows, maybe the bombshell that Phillip just gave us won't happen. Maybe it will. We'll find out as the month progresses, won't we? Well, my friends, I'm so glad you joined me. It's always good to see all of you here. You hold me, you keep me from falling apart reading these predictions, because I find making the predictions of this grand scale difficult because so many of them aren't pleasant. But then Philip always gives us that hope. He always tells us what we really need to do to be on and continue our spiritual journeys. And the bottom line of that is love. Love. So thank you, my friends, for the love that you send to us. We receive it. And thank you for the love that you receive from us, because it's a two-way street. You have to receive our love. I always say when we breathe out, we give, but we have to be able to also receive. So we have to breathe in. And Judith says, thank you, Diana and Philip. And it looks like stars. I think it's like, I can't see for sure, but it looks like a picture of stars. Thank you all for being here. Bless you. We're going to get through this. This is going to be a month, I think, that could go down in history. As Philip says, certainly it will be a month to remember and ponder. We'll find out. I love you all. Thank you. Thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for your comments. I'll talk with you soon. And see you Friday. I forget now. Oh, it has to do with animals, but I forget exactly what now without reading the question. So see you then. Thank you. Bye for now.